Hello, everyone. We're heading out west. We're going out to Washington. We're getting out of Minnesota. We're getting out of the Midwest here a little bit. We're going out. We're also talking to one of the best guards we have in the 2026 class in the country. Let's have her introduce herself.
I'm Brooklyn Haywood, and I'm in the class of 2026 from Vancouver, Washington.
There we go. So, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining the show.
Thank you.
Let's go all the way back to when you first started. What's some of your earliest memories of basketball?
Um, Definitely, my dad was the assistant coach at a high school where Alyssa Peely played, so
Hmm.
definitely those practices, being able to be around her, and learn from her and see her work for sure. And then, like earliest game memories, I say like I was in fourth grade playing up, and I took like a game-winning charge, and we
Man.
won by like 1 point. So that was definitely a big memory for me, because I was playing up in fifth and sixth in like fourth grade. So
Playing D at
yeah,
fourth grade. Come on, it was
yeah,
just natural, just a natural defender.
yes,
And we talked about Minnesota Connection, another one right there, Alyssa Peely, Minnesota Lynx.
hmm
That's it.
yeah,
So I know you talked about her a little bit before. How has she kind of been an inspiration for you and kind of helped in your basketball career?
yeah. I mean, being around her and like throughout all 4 years of her high school, I was there all 4 years. I tried to be at every single practice. It obviously got hard because as she got older, I did, and
Hmm.
so I started taking basketball more seriously while she was still in high school.
Hmm.
But I was the water girl almost all 4 years. I tried to be at every single practice, um, and just like seeing her journey and that, like, oh, she's a girl from Alaska too. Like,
Hmm.
if she can make it, I can make it was the kind of thing. Like if she can reach her goals and her dreams, I can do it too. So that was definitely a big thing. And we're super close still now. Like she's like an older sister to me too.
Absolutely. She's out in your area. I think they play Vegas tonight, so I think she's coming out your
Yeah.
way. I think a little bit. So
Yeah.
gonna have to get to a game and see her a little bit.
hmm
There we go. And so, was basketball always your main sport, or did we play other sports? And kind of what made basketball be the one that maybe stuck or like stood out the most?
Yeah. When I was younger, I played soccer.
Hmm.
Um, it's just kind of one of those sports that parents kind of put their kids into to get them
Accurate.
going, right?
Accurate.
Um, but I also did karate. I'm a black belt in karate. So I did that until I got my black belt and then I was done. That definitely helped with like focus and discipline though.
Hmm.
But like obviously when I was 9, I went to a basketball camp. My first one, I my mom made me pay for half of it. So like
Dang.
yeah, it was all of that, and I went and I just really loved it. I got to stay with the older group, and like that was the time when I wasn't doing trainings. Like I was just going to the gym and shooting around with my dad, playing
Hmm.
YMCA hoops. Like it wasn't serious because I was doing all this other stuff, all these other sports. But then after that, I kind of came home and was like, all right, I'm done with soccer. I'm gonna get my black belt and I'm gonna be done because just like I really love basketball.
Fair. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
So, you kind of played on a few different teams for AAU, but I know I think I saw you a couple years ago when it was Tree of Hope. Kind of walk us
hmm
through your AAU journey and kind of lead us up to where we are right now.
Yeah, I started playing for Northwest Greyhounds when I was still in Alaska. So I was seventh grade playing on their 17U team.
Nice.
And it was a lot of traveling, just a lot because I was going from Alaska straight to the tournaments we were going to. But Adidas is different than EYBL. So we were going to like Atlanta, and all these other places,
Hmm.
right? So we're doing that, and I'm in seventh grade, and obviously these 17U girls are much better than me, but like I was a little bit of a shooter, so I would coming off the bench. I was a little short, scrawny kid coming, hit a couple threes. I was like a secret weapon on that
Fair.
team. And then the next year I played for my trainer, who's also my godfather, Matthew
Mhm.
Conboy. And it was kind of one of those years where 17U playing with Greyhounds was so good for me for like growth and like being around older kids. It helped with my maturity and
Mhm.
IQ. But now was the time for me to grow in that leadership role and things like that. Because for high school, that's what I needed to be. And as we grow forward in the game, that's what I need to be, right? If I'm going to be
Mhm.
a top player, I have to be a leader and have that confidence and have the best IQ on the court and praise my teammates and all that stuff. So we used that summer to be able to do that. It went super well. Like it wasn't a sponsored team or anything. We just went to Arizona and Texas and Cali and just played in some tournaments where there was viewing tournaments, but it wasn't like EYBL or anything. I did really well. Um, And then after that, I played for Tree of Hope my freshman AAU
Hmm.
summer, and it was a great experience. It was definitely different coaching than I have had for sure. Mo's coached me before, but that was the first time it was like 17U, right? Like the big stage. So it was really good. I really loved my team. All the girls were super supportive. There was never jealousy or anything with the girls. It was we were there as a team. All we wanted to do was win. Didn't matter who got the credit. Um, and then I went to Cal Stars, and
Hmm.
honestly, it's been the best experience. My sophomore year of AAU, I mean that game against Aaliyah obviously kind of blew up for me, which um, was an amazing opportunity, and I think I just took advantage of that opportunity for sure. Um, but yeah, CalSTARS is just so organized, and Kelly Sopak just knows what he's doing. So it was super fun. The group of girls we had Jazzy Davison, Addie
Oh
Deal,
yeah.
all these girls. Like we had a really good squad, and it was just super fun to be around great players like that and learn from them too, right? Because everybody brings something different to the team.
Yeah, it was fun to see you guys this year. I was in Chicago, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, you're hitting threes, you're driving, they're open. I'm like, there is nothing defenders are doing to even come
Right.
close to slowing you guys down at any
Yeah.
point. So,
Yeah.
and we mentioned a little bit, so kind of been on two teams that are on the EYBL circuit. How do you feel the EYBL circuit, like you said, you're talking about Aaliyah Chavez, you're talking about a whole bunch of people that are on the circuit. How do you think it
Right.
prepares you for the next level to kind of continue in that growth?
Right. EYBL, I feel like it's the best of the best competition, right? Like all the best players, top ranked players, you're probably going to see them on an EYBL circuit.
Hmm.
Um, so every single game, it's a new challenge in a different type of team. And so that kind of transfers to college a little bit. Like every game, you're scouting for a completely different type of team that you're about to play.
Hmm.
Like we have Cypher who runs and guns the floor and shoots threes and hits almost every single one of them. So you have to figure out how to guard them and not let them shoot threes, right? But
Hmm.
they're still fast enough to get to the basket. We have teams like that, or we have teams that like to throw it into their big because they got a 6'5" post in the key, and who's gonna stop her because she's so
Hmm.
big. So and our coaches do a really good job of scouting reports too. So we scout before the games and figure out our best matchups and the best way to win. Um, so yeah, I feel like that's definitely what UIBL brings.
Fair. And so, if someone's been living under a rock and they haven't had a chance to see you play, first of all, what's wrong with them? Secondly, how would you describe yourself as a player to someone that hasn't had a chance to see you play yet?
Yeah, I mean, I probably don't look like it, but I'm a point guard.
Hmm.
I can play a little bit of the wing. I can shoot, definitely a shooter for sure.
Hmm.
Shifty, I got a pretty good hezzy. Um, and then yeah, I got good court vision, IQ. I kind of just bring it all to the table. I got that grit and got that dog.
Hmm.
I'm gonna do anything to help the team win.
Yeah. Don't let her fool you. When she says a shooter, she hitting from deep. Like we talking Caitlin Clark, she pulling up. Don't let her fool you, people. Don't let her fool
Hey,
you.
I'm trying to stretch my range for this high school season. Okay, I'm actually about to be pulling up Caitlin Clark range this year.
Right? And the run up and defenders in trouble.
Hmm.
And then where would you say what's your maybe the skill set that you're hoping to continue to add or refine as we continue going through your basketball career?
Yeah. I've been working a lot on explosiveness and speed because obviously I'm not the quickest or most athletic girl on the floor at all. Like there's girls in UIBL that are crazy athletic, and
Hmm.
so my goal before next AAU season and this high school season will definitely help me work on that in games is being more explosive. My first step, getting my first step faster, and then getting that page pull-up game
Hmm. The
in my
midi.
bag for sure. Um, and then also being able to just wear defenders out and, like Caitlin Clark and Steph Curry.
Hmm.
What they just wear their defender out and they get a shot and hit it. And so that's what I'm trying to do because everybody expects me to just dribble and pull up off the dribble all the time. And so I got to give them something different.
Fair. It's coming. Trust me. It's coming.
Yep.
Yep. And then, we talked about high school and AAU. How does your role change in between them? Is there a difference? Is there a difference? And kind of what is the difference expectation from you on both those teams?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's too big of a difference. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit because we had Jazzy and Addie who were the seniors and
Hmm.
they were the leaders. Like you earned that role, right?
Hmm.
They earned the leadership role. I was definitely right there with them. Like I was learning from them as we went along because Addie had been there for a year before I was, so she kind of knew how it was going to go already.
Mm-hmm.
This was Jazzy and I's first year, so I was definitely still a leader on that team and almost like the energy, like 8 a.m. game, I'm over here hyped up and talking all the time. Um, so I'd say that's the same thing with my high school team. I think I'm a little more of a leader over there.
Okay.
I think the girls look to me more on that team. But yeah, I'm definitely still the energy on that team.
Fair.
We had open gym today and I was dancing and it was 10 a.m. and people were like, Brooklyn, it's too early for this. I was
Never
like,
too early. Never too
never too
early.
early.
No.
Never.
And then, so you say you play, you're in Washington. How would you describe Washington basketball? I'm here in Minnesota. How would you describe Washington basketball to someone like me that maybe doesn't get exposed to it as much or to see it as much?
hmm there's definitely some teams that'll sneak up on you for sure. You might watch them on film and you might watch a bad game and a good game, but uh, really anybody can win at any time. That's the thing is like the underdogs really do shine through in Washington basketball for sure.
Fair.
There's definitely some unexpected wins and I mean, even I get told like my team is an underdog for sure, 100%, right? We had playoffs last year, and I was told in one of the games like before, like, oh, that team's really good. Like we heard that team's super good, and we ended up beating them by like 30 points. And I hit
Easy.
like 10 threes. My other teammates I was dropping dimes them. They were scoring. We were making everything. Our energy was off the walls. And it's like anybody can win at any time. Like
Mm-hmm.
just because they're better than us doesn't mean we can't win. And so I feel like that's definitely one of them.
Fair. What would you say is the team goals and your individual as an individual goal for this upcoming high school season?
Um, Individual goals definitely, as I said, just getting quicker and faster, and I think just learning more about the game in general. I've been
Mm-hmm.
watching a lot of film lately on different players in colleges, not just how they play, but how they act and how they bring the ball up the floor because that's important too, right? Like, do they sprint it up every time or do they change it up? Just things like that. Learning more. There's just so much to learn about the game. Like, there's just so much information out there online now that you can just look at Instagram and a video will just be right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so many opportunities for you to learn and stuff like that. And obviously, books. Like, I have a bunch of Kobe books, Steph Curry
There
books.
we go.
Um, that too. So learning more and just growing my IQ and mind for this next AAU season. It's my last AAU season,
Fair.
right? Like nothing to lose. You got to go out there and I want to win the Nike
Mm.
Nationals. So I'm
Yes.
gonna do whatever I can before that to win. Yeah. And then team goals for high school. Obviously, we want like our biggest goal is win state. That's
Mm-hmm.
a goal every single year. It's gonna be a goal for me every single year at least.
Right.
Um, but this year, I think a team goal for us, we got a couple transfers in
Okay.
from different schools, and so it's really just learning to glue before season. And we're doing a really good job of that now. We played June ball, we did really well together, and it was we came together super well. The team chemistry definitely bonded, and yeah. So my job is to bring my team together and kind of get that team chemistry going as the leader of the team, and um, yeah. So my team's goal is have fun and just like go as far as it'll take us. Like obviously everything happens for a reason. That's what I believe. And so, if we lose a playoff game by one, but we played our hearts out and we were diving on the floor and running into chairs on the bench trying to save the ball, so what? We lose, but
Right.
we played hard, right? Like we did everything we could so we could win. So making my team have that mindset is definitely a big one too. But yeah, and then AAU is obviously win Nike Nationals. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we will definitely be the underdog next year because almost every single one of our players were seniors, are going to be seniors and
Mm-hmm.
are going to be graduating next year, won't be back. So, yeah,
Fair. Hey, get the dance party started. When we're building chemistry, get the
exactly,
dance party
right?
started. There we're going. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
And recently, you were just in the overtime selects. What was that experience like? Kind of what was you playing with, like, once again, some of the same people that you were going up against in Nike Nationals, now they're teammates. What
Right.
was that like?
It was cool. It was a great experience. I've never done something like that with all the like a lot of media. Like you had someone this close to you on free throws. Like it was just different
Hmm.
than anything you've ever experienced. It was so fun though. Like it's weird because you're not around, unless you go to like, USA and all this stuff. You're not around these girls all the time. Especially right now. Right now is the time when people are back home training. And so to have that
Yep.
opportunity to be put on teams with girls that you compete against every summer in different games is so cool. And the fact that they are all like-minded and all like to, get hyped up. You get an and one, they're all cheering, like all this
Oh
stuff. You
yeah.
hit a three, to have people like that that are like-minded and almost have the same personality as you is just like a fun, like I'm just having fun playing basketball. It was super cool to meet different people like that.
Awesome. So we've talked a lot about in the different. Who are some of the best players you've ever had a chance to play with? AAU, high
Hmm.
school, overtime select, kind of anything.
Right. I got to play with Jazzy, obviously. So, I mean, how do you stop Jazzy, right? Like she
You
is
don't.
6'1". She shoots up here. How you're not blocking her. You're either gonna foul her and she's gonna make it, or you're gonna get lucky when she misses. And so, and she just sprints the floor so well. It was just, I learned so much from her, and it was like, dang, like she's really, really
Mm-hmm.
good, right? Definitely Jazzy. And then I got the chance to play like almost a head-to-head game with Aaliyah Chavez. She had 37, I had 36. It was a battle for sure. And obviously we're both classified as like shooters, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do, and so it was fun to be able to go against her.
Fair.
I mean, I watch her clips, see her play all the time, but to go against her like that, playing my game, how I know how to play, and her just doing her thing, it was super fun.
Oh, I bet. Trust me, that place was. The crowd was insane. You knew something was special going on in that. Like when we were there.
Right.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
And so, what we said, one of the top guards, an outstanding, a name that everyone knows in terms of around the country, that comes with recruiting attention. Now, nothing
Hmm.
too specific, but how do you kind of, and you're 26, so they can get right to you, they're directly to you. How do you kind of
Hmm.
manage that so it doesn't kind of get overwhelming and make sure it kind of stays fun and kind of that you help stay grounded?
Yeah. Now that they can text me and call me, makes it 10 times easier. Because if I have, like, I'm not gonna stop a workout to call somebody. It's like I'm gonna get my work done and
Mm-hmm.
then I'll call you. So it makes it easier. I can communicate with them directly. Hey, I have a workout right now. Is it okay if I gave you a call after? Kind of thing.
Fair.
So I just make sure I have time for myself for sure. Like I space out calls. Like this week, the dead period was over. And so now they can text and call me again. And obviously on Monday, I got a bunch of like, hey, can we call you
Boom,
to
boom, boom,
like, when
boom.
can we call you? When can we call you? And it's like, let me space it out a little bit. So, I'll call the people that text first today. And, before I leave for my trip, I'll get everybody in. Don't worry. So, yeah,
What's
it's been
some
fun.
What's some of the advice like someone like Alyssa Peely or Jazzy or people like that that you've been around? What are some of the advice they've given you in terms of recruiting?
Find the place that's like a home.
Hmm.
They said that in the place that you're going to have the most fun at because you don't want to go to a big name school and go there and it not be what you want. You're stuck there for 4 years and you're not with your parents, right? So you
Fair.
have to find a place that is going to be your home for the next 4 years. You're going to see your parents on breaks and things like that and your family here and there and then the summer, but you're also playing basketball, right? So
Hmm.
you are there almost all summer, all school year, and you get 2 weeks to go see your families. And so you got to find a place that you're really going to love. And that was the big thing that I took away when they were talking to me about recruiting. Because, none of my sisters played sports like this and got
Hmm.
recruited and stuff. So I'm like the first one in my family. Um, and so it's a learning experience for me and my parents, right? It's not just me. And so that was really good. Just like find the coaching staff that you get along with the best, but make sure they push you, right? Like make sure
Hmm.
they hold you accountable. A home that you're gonna love to be for the next 4 years, and a place where you're gonna have fun. Like you might not want to go somewhere that's has nothing else to do outside of school and basketball, right? Like you're just in the middle
Fair.
of nowhere. So you gotta find a place that's gonna be your home.
Fair. Good advice. Very good advice.
Yeah.
Who would you say is your dream? We might have talked about it already. Who would you say is your dream one-on-one opponent?
Oh, that's so hard because there's like so many. Like, does it have to be my like
It can be any.
class or
It can be
anything?
anybody.
Anybody?
Yeah, dream one-on-one
Oh,
opponent that you're
okay.
like, I could go one-on-one. I could take it.
I think that is hard. I think me and Paige would battle. I think we would battle.
Sounds like someone needs to
I
make a
mean,
trip
she's
out to
long and lanky,
Minnesota.
but I feel like I could do a little hezzy and
There you go.
get some type of lay on her.
I love it. I love it. So someone got to take a trip out to Minnesota. She always roaming around here
Yeah,
somewhere.
got to.
And then the next question is, do you have any NBA, WNBA players that you'd say you model your game after or really enjoy watching type situation?
Uh, for WNBA, Sabrina, just because of like how she runs the pick and roll,
Mm-hmm.
she literally, I think she has unlimited options on the pick and roll. Like I don't think anybody's stopping her.
Mm-mm.
Um, Paige, obviously, her pull-up game is crazy. Her touch on the ball, crazy,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Caitlin Clark, obviously her range, but it's also how she moves off the ball. Like I don't know if people watch that detail of her, but her defenders gasped by the time that they go back on offense. Like it doesn't matter if she
Mm-hmm.
made the shot or not. Like she's gonna wear her defender out going like this around the court, and she's probably gonna knock it down in your face.
Uh-huh.
So definitely those three. And then for NBA, it's always been Steph Curry. He's just his shooting, right? Like I want to be the best shooter in the world, like he is. So
Right.
he's definitely been one. And then Kobe, I still watch his game film to this day.
Mm-hmm.
How he does his turnaround fades and gets to his pull up off the dribble because he does it in so many different ways, and things like that. And I in high school, like I get face guarded a lot and stuff like that. So I kind of look towards the players that had that, even in the WNBA and NBA,
Mm-hmm.
like that have that all the time. Because how did they get away from that and score? That's what I need to do. So yeah,
Love it. Yeah, with Sabrina, if you're talking about some deep range and adding some shooting, goodness gracious. I mean,
right.
she is, I mean, it's her and Caitlin, I said, easy out there.
Unlimited options.
Mm-hmm.
Unlimited options.
Mm-hmm. And I said, yeah, I think they had the Sabrinas at the Nike Nationals. I'm like, I want a pair though.
Yeah, so she sponsors Cal Stars, my AAU
There you
team,
go.
and she got us all customized Sabrinas, and it had like our number on it and everything. It was super cool.
Man, now see that you need the Sabrina if you're gonna be a shooter. Come on
Yeah.
now. Fair, fair. I love it. And so you talked about, being from Alaska. What is something like, because you said you had looked up to Alyssa Peely and she, your
Mhm.
dad was her coach. What does it mean to you to kind of like, you're that player now that like players can kind of look up to and kind of represent, kind of what they can aspire to be?
Right. I mean, that's obviously crazy to think about that,
Mm-hmm.
like, that's me now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in those shoes. It's crazy, but for me, it's Alaska, there's not a lot of exposure. It's definitely gotten better since I've been there, for sure, when I was
Mm-hmm.
younger. I mean, the reason I moved to Washington was because I needed more exposure and different competition, right? Because in Alaska, you kind of play the same people.
Yep.
Um, but girls in Alaska, like, they're starting to travel more and do all this stuff. And my advice to all of them, like, I still keep in touch with a lot of the girls that are younger there. Like, I talk to all of them. I told my mom when I get older, like in college, I want to go back to Alaska and do like camps and stuff, like for them, just because like they need to see their role model more than they just need to hear from them.
Right.
Um, and so my advice to them was like, one, if you need to have fun with it all the time. Like, if you're not having fun playing basketball, then you're not going to make it to where you want to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to have fun, you have to enjoy it. And also like my goal for me working this hard and obviously reaching my dreams of going D1 and playing the WNBA, going as far as the ball will take me, right? I want these girls to know that they can do it too, especially from Alaska. Like if I can get out of there and reach my goals and be a top player in my class and be ranked and do all these cool things and 50 in a game and stuff like this, they can do it too, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I just want them to know that they can do what I can do if they keep working hard and keep training hard. So,
Love it. Can't wait to see that. Can't wait to see the camps and whatnot
yeah.
coming up. Yeah. So we'll do some quick hits here towards the end. We might have already talked about them. I know you got customs. What's your go-to basketball shoe right now?
Sabrina's or GT's. It's a
Fair.
hard decision between both of them because they're both so comfortable.
Okay, go-to favorite food right now.
Favorite food? Oh my gosh. It has to be a fruit. I'm obsessed with fruit. I think right now it's watermelon because it's watermelon season.
So good. Yeah,
Mm.
there we go. Go-to hype song before a game.
Shot for Me by Drake.
Fair. There we
Mm.
go. And I'll
Yeah.
always end with, actually, I'll say this. when you're trying to get away from basketball and just gotta decompress and not think about it, where would people find Brooklyn? Where would they find you kind of just stepping away? What's your like relaxation or kind of like woo-saw where you go to?
Definitely getting away from basketball.
You know,
Probably in my I if I want to get away from something, I go to the gym and just shoot by myself. But
fair,
if we're
okay.
trying to get away from that, probably in my room blasting some type of music, just laying there chilling,
Fair.
probably dancing or singing or something.
Just relax, just shaking it off. There we go.
Right.
There we go. Shake it. I'll take
Yeah.
it. And so we'll end with this one. What do you hope when you're done with AAU in high school and you're off to whatever college is lucky enough to get your services? What do you hope your legacy was left by in AAU in high school and kind of as a player leading into college?
Um, Obviously one of the best players there. Like I want people to remember who I am afterwards. And at my high school, my goal is to, you know, break those records that people hold now, so that
Fair.
other freshmen and sophomores are gonna have to come in and break those, right?
Yes.
I wanna make sure people remember who I am when I leave at high school, and then AAU just. I mean, EYBL gives so much exposure that it's so
Hmm.
easy to leave your name on something like that. Like Aaliyah Chavez,
Hmm.
people are going to remember who she is, right? And I want to kind of do that, not just for scoring, but just how I impact the game and my energy and vibe and things like that, just like
Fair.
all around. So yeah, definitely just to be remembered for sure, like making a big enough impact to where people
Hmm.
choose to remember who I am.
Fair. Well, as someone who saw your game, you are extremely memorable on the court, very enjoyable to watch, an outstanding
Thank
player.
you.
There's a reason you are top 25 in your class. Might be top 15 before we're all said and done, but we will get to that. But once again, I cannot say thank you enough. People, get out to Washington to see her. Get out to EYBL to see her. When she's at overtime, make sure you get out and see Brooklyn because you will be entertained. But once again, thank you, thank you, thank you for today.
Thank you.
Have a great one.
Yep, you too.
Bye.